Why, hello and welcome back to Scott Whiskers and the Search for Mr. Fumbleclaw. I wasn't so sure what to do at the end of the last episode, but I remembered that we have a can of brown paint, right? And there's a sign, so not sure if that it does. Cool.
Out of sight, out of mind. And the road was reopened.
Goody. So, can I... Well, now I... What? That doesn't make sense. I thought someone else had to cross there. Well, that's probably the film set.
The decrepit power generator seems to be broken.
Wait a minute. Let me replace that.
What a great idea! That's what I call a sensible application for the Pants Pocket High Capacity Power Generator!
Yay!
The thing should provide enough power to brightly light up a movie set. Almost ready. The wiring should fit. But something is still missing. I think without the right mobile pocket nuclear power plant, the generator will not provide power. Possibly some other module works as a power source for green energy. I don't think the movie set needs very much power. No.
No.
Now this is very strange, but the hamster wheel could really fit into the fixture for the drive module. Someone really considered all eventualities when developing the generator.
Oh, really? I knew it.
Indeed!
Oh.
Fits like a glove. But I think some component for green electricity is still missing.
Poor little hamster.
Great! Mr. Snuggles is already totally excited. He's a big fan of green energy and has always wanted to do his part to stop the climate catastrophe. And if he has a little fun in the process, that's all the better.
Poor little Mr. Snuggles.
Wow, this really seems to work. Fantastic!
Oh.
Green hamster-powered green electricity! I think that's the future. In any case, the movie set now has enough power again for the time being. And Mr. Snuggles looks like he's having a lot of fun at work. The little guy's to be envied. A big box with lots of great movie props.
Can I take any?
These funny glasses with moustache was the symbol of the iconic comedian Groucho Marx, member of the famous Marx Brothers.
Oh, I can really take that. Nice.
Wow, a cowboy. What a great idea for a crossover.
I'd like to see that, honestly.
This appears to be a blank employee ID card from the local post office.
Oh, you know.
Presumably
wow.
to allow suppliers access to the movie set.
Nice. Come on, take it.
Wow, a blank employee ID card from the post office. If I fill it out, I'll surely get access to hidden treasures. As a postal employee, you enjoy this privilege. The brightly shining spotlights perfectly illuminate the movie set.
There we have our movie set.
The area is perfectly illuminated.
One of the extras should actually be standing there. Unfortunately, he was terminated at short notice due to budget cuts.
The totem pole's really impressive, but this still looks unfinished.
Unfortunately, the carpenter in charge has left due to budget cuts. Now, I lack a capable replacement craftsman.
Oh, I know just the man.
A Movie Master 6000 Professional. Pretty high quality for such a cheap production. This is probably supposed to represent a Native American tent, but it's just a cheap plywood display. May I interrupt for a moment? Have you seen a big, white, fluffy cat around here by any chance?
Excuse me? What kind of cat?
Large, white, and fluffy. Probably arrived here with a package of flea combs.
Tell me, boy, are you on drugs?
Yes.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and to be honest, I have enough problems of my own here. Are you possibly another problem?
I think not. But I am a problem solver. What's the problem exactly? Are you shooting a movie here? I like movies.
Yes, unfortunately.
Why unfortunately?
The production company contractually obligated me to realize this nonsense through a legal dodge. And as expected, there's nothing but problems here. The world probably just doesn't want this movie to ever see the light of day. And that would be just fine with me. Ooh, I'd hate to see my name in the credits of this piece of work. I am an artist, and I've worked hard to earn my reputation as a renowned director and writer.
You don't sound very enthusiastic. What's the name of your new movie? Is it going to be a western? I love westerns.
Cow Wolf, the beast of the bloody woods.
Ooh, that doesn't sound so bad. Mysterious and ambiguous. Why are the woods so bloody?
Vampires.
Excuse me?
The 3 daughters of the chief. They are vampires.
Right.
Really? And let me guess. They all fell in love with the same handsome werewolf.
With the same handsome cowboy. Cowboy werewolf. A cow wolf.
Well, that sounds really interesting.
Nonsense. Say it like it is. That sounds like absolute nonsense.
So a romance horror western.
Yes, something like that. The production company is of the opinion that this is currently very popular with the target group.
And you sound unenthusiastic. I know a little girl who would be thrilled.
If I wasn't contractually bound, I wouldn't touch this project with a 10-foot pole. I was a consultant and assistant director on such classics as Dances with Wolves and The Last of the Mohicans. And the production studio is probably of the opinion that my name in the credits would also appeal to the target audience of said movies. But I already mentioned it. Rather hell freezes over than my name appears in the credits of this piece of work. Nevertheless, I would also like to realize this project on a high level of craftsmanship and authenticity. But that's not so easy because the studio bosses don't have a clue about the Wild West. And they invested most of the budget in the star of the movie, Clint Akinthorpe. However, what has now led to a number of problems due to lack of money.
Did I mention that I'm a professional problem solver? What's the problem exactly?
Let's start with the obvious. The set is of the lowest budget in terms of craftsmanship. The tents are cheap plywood dummies, and the lawn is artificial turf, stolen from a golf course somewhere. And the carpenter of the totem pole, due to lack of payment, left after half of the work. Also, for budgetary reasons, all the extras were fired. Just like our star's youthful sidekick, who was never at a loss for a funny quip.
Woo! That sounds like a lot of problems indeed.
Oh, that was by no means all. The decrepit power generator that supplies the set, and especially the lighting, with electricity, recently broke down. And last but not least, my star is on a hunger strike, since the access bridge collapsed and you have to drive a mile-long detour. And as a result, the catering has been discontinued.
You mean he's on strike because he's hungry?
Yes, that's what I said. And try ordering a pizza here in the woods. No pizza service delivers all the way out here. Damn, I wouldn't even know what to put as an address. The third tree behind the raccoon's den? You see, my boy, The project is basically doomed to failure, and it will probably remain a stain on my CV forever.
I'm very sorry about that. If my time permits, I'll see whether I can be helpful to you with one or the other thing, even though I actually have other priorities at the moment. But we movie people have to stick together after all.
You work in movies too?
Yeah, I did. Currently retired, unfortunately. But my parents still think that the video recording of my enrollment was the hit of the year.
I see. Well, in any case, thank you for your effort. But now, I would like to ask you to let me continue working. I'm in the process of thinking up some spectacular camera shots for tomorrow's shoot, which becomes a real challenge due to the lack of actors, scenery, and good lighting. Maybe I'll just movie some cute raccoons and baby foxes.
Work? How? How are you gonna work?
Howdy, kid. Without
So-
photo, $100. And with selfie, $150.
What?
Excuse me?
Autograph without photo costs $100. And with selfie, $150. You're here for an autograph, aren't you?
No?
Yeah. Actually, I'd love an autograph. I'm a big fan of your movies. But I can't possibly afford that. Do you perhaps also take smelling bus tickets in payment? The next month's even already paid.
Nah, kid. Cash is king. Is that all? You are disturbing me here at work.
Sorry,
Work.
I don't really want to interrupt,
Sure.
but... You're Clint Akenthorpe, right? The Clint Akenthorpe. Hero of such legendary cinema hits as Revenge of the Groundhog, Bloody Iced Tea Parts 1 to 5, and one of my favourite movies, Weightless on Uranus.
Aye. Guilty as charged.
Weightless
way,
on Uranus.
my previous year's autographs
I'm
cost
not sure
only
I wanna
half.
watch that.
Unfortunately, still too expensive for me. Can't we just have a little chat? You seem to have some time on your hands at the moment, and it's not every day I get the chance to meet one of the biggest movie stars in the world.
Fine by me, but please make it short anyway, kid. Time is money. And some people's time is worth more than that of others.
Promise. Oh crap, now I don't have my note with the questions I had thought of if I ever met you.
So, we're done here, kid?
No. What? What? How did you end up in such a low budget production like this? Isn't the movie way beneath you budget-wise?
You know, kid, I'm not really interested in the total budget of a movie. As long as the producers can provide the money for my budget, I don't care if it's a blockbuster or an art house movie like this one. I'm not picky about that.
You think this is an art house movie?
Well, that's how my agent described it to me. But probably it's just a cheap horror flick with a famous director and even more famous star of the movie. But I don't really care, as long as the money is right. But what really bothers me about the movie is the virtually non-existent catering. James is babbling something about a collapsed access bridge, but
I have a strict diet plan to follow.
and without
Right.
my daily special vegetarian diet, I can't possibly maintain my market value. My body's a temple, kid. A temple. Unfortunately, currently in acute danger of collapse.
Oh. And why's that?
That's why I'm exercising my contractual trade union rights and going on strike.
Ah, so that's why Mr. Pollock's on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
I guess so. Don't get me wrong, I like James and how he is desperately trying to make art out of this trash.
But as long as it's not ensured that I can keep to my diet plan, as long as no inch of movie is shot here.
Can I maybe get you something to eat somewhere? It would be a great honor.
Thanks for the offer, kid. But I don't think you have a clue when it comes to a balanced vegetarian diet when I look at you.
Oh, I do.
Oh, wait a minute. I am a vegetarian.
Fried vegetarian food is not what I have in mind. I need a balanced mix of protein, carbohydrates, and exotic spices. You can't get this specialty food at just any snack bar.
I can still keep my eyes open. I've solved much harder puzzles in this game.
Game?
Game of life. The game of life.
Ha! I see. Oi, kid. Knock yourself out. And as soon as my culinary needs have been taken care of, I willingly pose in front of the camera again. Anything else, kid?
Oh, drat, now I almost forgot what I wanted to ask you.
Well, lucky for me that it came back to you. What is it?
I'm looking for a cat. Large, white, much fluff.
Do I look like an animal shelter? What do I know where your cat is? I'm more of a dog person anyway. Fighting dogs.
Well, this is a long and sad story. To make a long story short, did a package with a cat inside arrive here lately?
Kid, if the catering can't reach me, do you really think any package with a cat in it could reach me? Besides, I told you that access bridge collapsed. Haven't seen any supplies here for days.
Too bad. I was just wondering.
Nah, kid, sorry. And thanks to my allergy to cat hair, I would have tracked down any cat package within a mile. And now excuse me, kid. I still have to save some energy until the food is here. That was the last time I made a cheap flick like that. These small movie crews have no idea how to properly handle a star of my caliber. In the future, I better stick to Michael Bay and Roland Emmerich again.
Sure. Well,
Howdy, kid. What's up?
See you around.
Aye.
so we need to get some veggie food, which I think might be easy to do.
The idea is actually not bad. But the refill of the pen is completely empty. Maybe I can find a creative way to fill it.
Okay, give me the chisel, man.
Yes?
Would you possibly be interested in participating in a movie?
A movie? What kind of movie? My acting talent is rather poor.
Well, a western is currently being filmed nearby, and the director is looking for a craftsman who knows how to carve wood. There's a really impressive totem pole that would need to be finished. And I seem to remember you mentioning in that addition to carving stone, you also had talent in carving wood.
A western? Really? In this country? That's what I call highly unusual. But yes, you are right. I think I can say with a clear conscience that I do indeed have some talent in carving wood. And the totem pole thing sounds really highly interesting. But unfortunately, at this point I have to decline the order.
Oh,
What?
that's too bad.
Yes.
Why?
Sorry. This sounds like an exciting project and would make a great reference and prestige piece for my new professional career. But as you can see for yourself, I still have a little problem to solve here. And until I finish this bust here, I can't possibly start a new project. That would not be fair to the customer.
Yes, I think I can relate to that. Still,
Yeah, that makes
A pity.
sense.
Just ask me again after I finish this work here. Because as I said, carving a totem pole for a western, that sounds like something I'd like to do. I love westerns. Especially the old classics with John Wayne or James Stewart. Is there anything else?
Not for now, thanks.
that's it for now.
Good.
Could that be hard to say as unfinished as...
Can I give him anything?
A hammer? It looks
Yes.
quite stable.
It is! A real professional
Hammer
tool.
time.
Really? Sounds indeed like a tool that I could use well. The chisel you gave me is unfortunately the death of my hammers from the Amazon order of the 100-piece set of hand-forged hammers and chisels for 49.99 euros.
Death?
Yes, I suspect that the high-quality steel of the stone chisel is not compatible with the low-quality steel of my Amazon hammers. If my cheap chisels used to break after a few blows, now it's the cheap hammers that shatter into 1,000 pieces after a few blows. It's so frustrating.
Well then, try my hammer here. As I said, it's a high-quality professional tool.
And you would just give it to me?
Why, of course. I'm dying to see which actor is hiding behind the facade of stone.
Then I guess the only thing left to do is to thank you again. Good. Let's see if your hammer is any good.
Well,
Can this be? Is this
wow.
really? This is indeed the unforgettable, the unique Mr.
Nice.
Spock. Fascinating.
Great. Lovely.
Yes?
Wow, that's Leonard Nimoy, isn't it? In the Futurama version. I'm deeply impressed. But
Me too.
why the critical expression on your face? Are you not satisfied with your work?
Oh, yes. The work is really successful thanks to your excellent tools, I think. It's
What?
just... I don't know. Don't you think that somehow that certain something is missing?
Well, I think you've done a wonderful job with Spock. Your customer will certainly be very happy with the work.
Do you really think so?
Don't you?
I don't know. Technically, the bust is already quite okay, but it somehow still lacks some character, I think. The customer attaches great importance to the fact that the work depicts the characteristics of Mr. Nimoy as authentically as possible.
Characteristics?
Yes, as far as I know, Mr. Nimoy was a very serious person during his lifetime on the one hand, with a cool detachment. Had a great sense of humor on the other hand, and I would like to depict both qualities in a subtle way with my work.
Well, the fact that you chose the Futurama Leonard Nimoy as a template is pretty funny. So that would be half the battle.
I think you misunderstand. I chose this cartoon template because its clean lines and colors made it very easy to chisel. Not because I wanted to depict a characteristic of the actor.
Oh. I see. I suggest you let me think about that a little first. I knew Mr. Nimoy very well. First, of course, from all of his adventures with Starship Enterprise. On the other hand, I had the great honor to see him in person at one of his last science fiction conventions.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm convinced I can think of a way to make Spock's coolness and humor even better.
That would really be a big help. Please let me know if you have any ideas.
Promise.
Well, I do have some sort of mask.
I'm curious if Spock's long nose really provides the necessary support for this mask.
And apparently it does.
Well, this may be a bit unconventional, but these funny glasses could be just the certain extra that Eddie wants for his statue. Symbolic of Leonard Nimoy's great sense of humor. And anyone who's seen him in Futurama knows exactly what I'm talking about. Now I just need an idea to symbolize Spock's cool detachment.
Anything else? Hair. Sunglasses.
Unfortunately, placing the glasses here...
No. Alright. Hair.
Wouldn't it be great if that had worked now? But
Alright. No hair.
Eddie would certainly not agree if I embellish his artwork with my own artwork. Mr. Spock is now wearing an iconic Groucho Marx mask.
Let me think. Oh,
I
right.
better look for a face with a pulse for this makeup.
Okay.
Eddie is beautiful, even without this makeup. I somehow have the suspicion that this radiant heater is not entirely innocent in the case of Eddie's burnt down place. However, storing highly flammable paints indoors, probably too.
What else? What else could I try there?
No, it's not going to work out that way. No. Maybe have another idea.
Actually, not.
There's nothing to cut here.
Goody. Let's try and ask the girl. Maybe she wants to participate in that sort of movie.
Yes.
I have a star for the lead role in your monster movie.
A star for the lead role.
Yes, an icon of the classic horror movie. As a fan of horror movies, you probably know him. And he's currently available.
Don't keep me in suspense. Who is it?
None other than the incomparable Popescu. Vlad Popescu.
Vlad who?
Popescu.
Huh? Never heard of him.
Oh, really? I thought you were such a big fan of horror movies.
I am. And that can only mean that your big star is a big nobody. But I wouldn't be interested in recasting the lead anyway.
Really? Your movie would sell much better at the box office with a real star in the lead role.
That may be so. But for one thing, your big star is obviously a big nobody. And for another, I would never recast Mr. Snuggles.
Oh, drat, that's right. Your main character's a hamster. Yeah, I guess Vlad would probably have one or two problems with the embodiment of a hamster.
Not to mention that the contracts with Mr. Snuggles have been signed, and I don't want to be sued for breach of contract.
I see.
Plus, Mr. Snuggles has that refreshing screen presence that only a newcomer to the movie business can bring. And you don't find this presence every day. Especially not with a washed-up guy that nobody knows.
I see.
Sorry. Unfortunately, the lead role has already been filled. And since there are no other roles in my movie besides Mr. Snuggles, unfortunately, there is no supporting cast to fill.
I see. Well, I was just asking. Then I'll have to find another role for Vlad. I think I'd have a hard time imagining him as a monster hamster anyway. All that makeup, artificial whiskers, facial prosthetics would probably be too much for a man of his age.
Anything else?
See you later.
Bye.
My, aren't you a nice one, little lady?
Welcome back to this desolate place.
I might have a movie role for you which would be perfect.
Oh, really? Have you found your missing cat in the meantime?
No, unfortunately
not yet.
not yet, but I am quite capable of multitasking. And after having seen 500 episodes of Highway to Heaven in the afternoon program as a child, that probably left its mark on me a little bit.
I had no idea you were also a movie agent.
Well, I've always been a big fan of agent movies.
You don't say. But please, don't keep me in suspense. What is your movie about? Is it any good? And do you really
It's
think
perfect.
there's room in it for a grandpa like me?
Well, let's put it this way. The genre will definitely suit you. The movie itself, well, even if the director is quite capable, he certainly won't win an Oscar for it. And as far as the topic of the grandfather is concerned, yes, we would indeed have to come up with something. Unfortunately, the role is intended for a much younger actor. But I am absolutely convinced that you'd be perfect for it. And if movie and television can make up a 60-year-old Tom Cruise look 25, I'm really not worried about you.
What is your movie about?
It's a classic horror movie with vampires, werewolves, the whole shebang.
So, something like Dracula. I was always great as Dracula.
Yeah, exactly. Something like Dracula, with a touch of Beverly Hills 90210 and a pinch of A Fistful of Dollars.
That sounds like a daring mixture, and not at all like the Dracula I know. You said A Fistful of Dollars, so it's a Western? I've always wanted to be in a Western.
Yep, a Western, albeit tailored to a rather modern cinema audience. And to give credit where credit is due and lay all the cards on the table, this is a romance horror Western.
Oh, what now?
A romance horror Western! The genre is currently big at the box office.
You don't say. Doesn't really sound like something I would necessarily play. Is my role any good? I assume that it is the main role.
Well, no. You would be the handsome, young, funny sidekick to the main character.
So, something like the second lead role, or at least the most important supporting role.
I'll be honest, I have no idea exactly how extensive or important your role is in the movie. And I'm afraid you better not expect too much from the role. But wouldn't even a small role in a blockbuster, and I fear the movie will be very successful, be better than no role in any movies? Such a flick could be an excellent springboard for further and far better roles.
You're right, of course. And please excuse me if I sounded a little ungrateful for a moment. You don't get rid of those star airs and graces from the good old days overnight. And you're absolutely right, of course. You come here, interrupt your important search for the little cat, and bring me this great offer. Of course, I am grateful to you. Very grateful. Even a small chance at a small role is better than no chance at any role.
I'm glad you see it that way.
Do you think I have a chance at the role?
In terms of your experience and skill, absolutely. The only crux, unfortunately, is the issue with the grandpa. This is where I think your expertise is needed. Do you possibly have any idea how the old Tom Cruise still passes off so believably as a 25-year-old Tom Cruise? Some magic Hollywood magic trick?
So, apart from Botox and special effects, it's actually not that difficult. Not much has changed since today. Only unfortunately I can no longer afford a personal stylist. Not to mention expensive professional makeup.
That sounds like two problems that can be solved.
Do you really think so? Maybe if I came across a little younger, I would indeed have a shot at that role. That would be absolutely great. I miss the big screen so much. And it's like you say, after a small, maybe not so great role, maybe the greatest role of my life will follow. Who knows?
I'm really glad that you see it so positively. And as far as the subject of your age is concerned, I'm sure we'll come up with something.
I think you've a sent from heaven. And please forgive me that the first reflex was to get out the garden hose and shoo you off the property when I first saw you. I had no idea. Should I go somewhere to audition for the role? Do you know any details?
I think the director doesn't attach much importance to an audition. A meaningful photo of the applicant is probably enough for him. He's a very visual visionary.
That should only be fine with me. You don't possibly have one of those great modern camera phones and could snap a few pics of me?
Unfortunately, I left my cell phone on the bus.
Oh, what a pity.
But don't worry, we'll think of something about that too.
Oh, your optimism is so contagious, my young friend. It is indeed long overdue that the name Vlad Popescu shines again in its old glory and from the movie posters all over the world.
I'm quite confident about that. Patrick Stewart made a terrific comeback as Captain Picard at the ripe old age of 81. And you don't look a day over 78.
Too friendly. In fact, I am even younger by quite a bit. So then, whenever the shoot can begin, I'm ready. And as far as the smaller hurdles that still need to be overcome are concerned, I have complete confidence in you now. My personal angel on Earth. Is there be anything else?
Not for now.
I have to go. See you later.
See you soon.
The idea is actually not bad. Maybe I can
Oh, how can I refill the pen? Oh. Well, I have actually no idea. Let me think for a bit.